I'm Elisa and I am the Scrappy Wife behind scrappywife.com, and I wanted to share a flip through video for you of how I worked through Big Story Part 1 and Part 2. This is from Illustrated Faith. I will make sure to link it down below. I worked through it a little bit differently than I have in the past. I've been working in my Crafty Club playbook this summer, and I added a section for Big Story right here, and so I thought I would just show you a flip through of the pages I created. Let's go. All right, as I worked through this devotional, I pretty much did an entry for each section, each badge that they have, and I had a lot of fun adding little sewing details. So I started out, this is a prayer just to start out. This was their kind of summer series. So they call it Revival Camp each year, where they have a couple of different devotionals that go throughout the summer with the same theme. So a prayer to start. I got to include what I liked about working with these discs from the Happy Planners, that I got to include some pieces that don't normally make it into my Bible for the devotional, like the thank you cards. This is the plot, so the basic starting point of where Jillian was going to take us throughout the summer. So I had some notes and had a lot of fun just decorating with this theme. I am not a seamstress. I don't sew. The only thing I use my sewing machine for is sewing on paper. So the theme was a little bit out there for me, but I had fun playing with it, had fun decorating it. Here we are, Behold Him, one of the first badges that you have, and it had us looking at the attributes of God, who God is, and then consistency. So you were seeing this pattern kind of develop, and you'll see that later on. Several of these were printables, some stamps, things like that. This is the washi tape that came with one of the kits. Had so much fun just playing with mixed media. When I worked in this journal, I was able to try some things that I don't normally get to in my Bible. So you can see I ordered the Camp Girls and fell in love. I love Beloved Society girls. I think they're just beautiful. And so I used them. Once I got them in the mail, I had them on almost every page. So here you see Transformed, Luke 24:27. Just thank you for how God has changed my life, how he's been there in places where at the time you might not have noticed, but looking back, I know that God was the thread that was just holding it together. Here you have the exile. Remind each other of the exile. Love that one. Loved working with the stencil. Had a few elements from Arise left over, so I included those. Here you see the repetition, the pattern of command, disobedience, exile, and then hope. And I had a little prayer, thank you for pursuing me even when I disobey. And I had fun again with the thread. It was so great to add these tactile elements in this format. So this is definitely a format that I want to repeat. Here you see those gorgeous Camp Girls. I fell in love with these alpha stickers. I think they call this the Pepper Alpha. I'm not totally sure. I hope that they make these in like all of the colors. I loved these alpha stickers like crazy. And I know they have, I think they have a stamp of this now that I haven't picked up yet, but I need the stickers in like all of the colors. I love them. More prayer journaling. Love it. Now, this is when I realized, hey, I can actually incorporate other paper. So this is some paper from some different collections that I had in my stash, and I just cut it down to the size that would fit in this kind of classic Happy Planner size. And that was a really fun element to kind of incorporate. So some more prayer journaling right here. Right here, we're talking about restoring our relationship with God, and being thankful for Jesus, who kind of helped mend that broken relationship, and we couldn't have done it on our own. So just thanking God for the restoration. Here's when we are starting Big Story Part 2. Again, loved using the Camp Girls. You got so many elements within these kits. It was really fun to play with layering. Lots of fun. Leviticus 16:16, and I really liked incorporating the badges. So they've done badges in different ways each year, and I've used them in different ways, and so I tried to incorporate them on each page when I was talking about that section. This was a really impactful one for me. Mediator is the title of the current series we are doing at church, and it's talking about how our series at church is talking about how we are called to be holy priests. And of course, Jesus, when he came and repaired that relationship, he is our high priest. We don't need an earthly priest to communicate with God, but then we're also called to be the mediator, to step in and to teach others as well. So I loved this section, and I loved the call to action that God gives us. So he is always pursuing us, yes, but there has to be a moment where we turn and we take a step as well. So it's not just a one-sided thing. So I loved that connection point for that one. Here we have Peacemaker, 1 Peter 2:9, a little pocket card from Felicity Jane, and a little envelope to keep the journaling in. Peacemaker and Chosen, and again, some more Camp Girls, and a few like Felicity Jane elements that I had in my stash, and this is Felicity Jane paper here in the background. And the opposite side here is the repetition. So in here we're seeing Jillian mapped out, and I went through all these verses. She mapped out how we're seeing this repetition of this pursuit and our mission. And so I just kind of followed it through. These are prophecies talking about Jesus and the type of savior he was going to be. And then of course it's fulfilled as we go, and then ending in Revelation talking about Jesus coming back. So I was including all of those scriptures right there. And then getting close to the end, we're looking at our mission that we're given from God to go out into the world. And I put mission accepted, use some alpha stamps from Top Knots to go right there, and talking about God's timing and the urgency that we should feel because we don't know when Jesus is coming back. And yes, it seems like sometimes it's been a really long time since Jesus was here, but to God, that's not long at all. And his patience with us, because he wants everyone to be saved. And so it's our urgency, our call to go out into the world and share the good news of the gospel. And then we're here at the end, and Jillian had us reflecting. We were looking in Revelation, and she had us listen to a song that was called Behold, and it was about kind of imagining what heaven was going to be like. And so she wanted us to write out just some thoughts, and so I just had some freeform thoughts on what heaven would be and what it wouldn't be. And it was great to just take time and reflect, and it just brought a lot of peace. So I think that's an important thing to come back to. So that is how I worked through Big Story. I had a great time studying it. I thought Jillian I thought she did a fantastic job, and she is such a great writer and has such a heart for the word and for God. And so I was so appreciative that she shared that with us this summer. If you haven't picked up the study, I think it's still in stock over at Illustrated Faith. If not, they always offer the devotional as a digital kit, and they also have digital ephemera. So if you didn't get a chance to work through this would be a great study for any point. It's not necessarily a summer study. It is a great study just to dive into like the really deep basic pillars of the Christian faith. So make sure to check that out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as that bell notification button. I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.